what's happening, people? Welcome to Mad Red United. I'm Adam. This is just a little bit of a different segment I'm going to be doing over the spell of the season, going over every week and match week's results and every team's sort of performances. Good performance of the week, standout performance of the week, bad ones obviously as well, because there are going to be them as we go along in the season. And just before I wanted to get into the actual results and every one of them from the weekend, I wanted to just invite anyone, not just United fans, but if anyone did want to come on, there will be it won't be live stream, so no pressure, but whenever these videos come out every single week, any supporter who does a similar thing to me, anyone who's a YouTuber, anyone like that wants to come on, actually have their say on how the week's football's gone, their verdict on how everything has happened and gone down that week, then hit me up, email me, all the details obviously in the description below, and we'll crack on with it from there. So let's get on with it. I'm going to start with I think I'll just go ahead and go straight into it with performance of the week. I'm going to do performance of the week, and then obviously I think I'm going to title it the thrashing of the week or standout bad performance of the week, whatever you want to call it. But standout performance of the weekend for me in the Premier League, Matchday 1, has to have been Brighton away at Watford. I had Brighton down as one of my favourites to go down. New manager in Porter in, who is well known for his elaborate sort of team bonding techniques and so on and so forth. He is a bit, what's the word you can describe him as? He's different, innit? And he's been well documented. The way he does things is different to everything else. Obviously coming from Sweden, you'd have thought a bit of a step up coming to the Premier League, and obviously it may turn out that way, yet still, there's still a long way to go. But after week 1, I have to put this down as my surprise result of the week. 3-0 away at Watford. I mean, I didn't see it come. Watford had a great record at home last season. They got to the FA Cup final last season. And obviously, I'd expect Wolves to... I had Wolves down winning that game. Although if you break it down, look at it in detail, you probably could say Wolves still... The last competitive game they played last season was that drumming off City in the FA Cup final. And no matter what, pre-season is there and everything, and there's games played, friendlies and stuff, but the last real game that you've played the season before, it was the same for my club United, and obviously we got off to a good start and stopped the rot, but Watford coming off the back of that drumming, the last competitive game that they had, and they've been done again at home. I really didn't see it coming, but you've got to give credit to Porter and his players. They've gone out there, and when was the last time Brighton scored 3 goals? That says it all. I think Brighton fans would agree that that definitely was a surprise. I think it was a surprise to everyone in the league. So, result and standout performance of the week for me definitely goes to Brighton, because I did not see that coming, and the goals were good apart from Decore's own goal which set it off, but the goals were decent as well, and they looked alright going forward. They looked a threat. And Watford taken for granted, I don't know, but all in all, fantastic start to the week for Brighton and to the Premier League this season, which you could say is vital early on, especially if you're one of the teams that is expected to be fighting for relegation. A good start is just as good as a good finish, and they got that at Watford, and credit to them and the management team. That was a standout performance of the week for me. Going on, straight from that, as good as Brighton were and as good a result that was, to the thrashing of the week, the poor performance of the week. And some people will say that this team played better and it wasn't just the same case as it has been before, but there are bogey teams in the Premier League. Every Premier League team has a bogey team and always seems to get a bad result every time they play that team. And West Ham's is Man City. Every single time City play West Ham, whether it be at home, away, cup, league, whatever it is, they always smash them to pieces. I think the Olympic Stadium, West Ham Stadium, I think since they've been there, I think someone came out this weekend and said, a stat came out, they've conceded 99 goals there now, 100 goals there now since it's been opened. And I think it was 23 of them goals have come from Man City, just at the Olympic Stadium. I mean, my God, that's like nearly a quarter, that's pretty much a quarter of the goals that they've conceded have been by Man City. So, my thrashing, my standout poor performance of the week, even though people will say West Ham haven't They weren't horrendous, and they did put up a fight. I mean, it was 1-0 for a long time, but it just, when you look at a 5-0 drumming, and if West Ham did play, I watched most of the game and I didn't think they were fantastic. But then again, I didn't watch previous games when they played Man City, when everyone pretty much said that they're just down tools and they weren't even interested. So I have to look at the results, and the result says 5-0 at home. You got beat. That has to go down as the poor performance of the week, because 5-0 pains me to say it, but obviously because I'm a United fan and it's City again. City go off to a flyout, and it must be demoralising as a West Ham fan every time City come to town, or every time they come up to Manchester, because I think they all know that they're in for a bit of an hiding every single time, because City have just got the number. And again, 5-0, gee, what a start that is. Goal difference straight away, -5 after one game, and it's it's funny to look at from the outside if it isn't you, but can you imagine turning up first game of the season, all excited, you've not had football for 2 months, and then bang, first home game, 5-0. VAR controversy, even that couldn't help West Ham, because City missed out on a couple of things. Well, they missed out on a goal. The penalty did help City, because that was a poor penalty from Aguero. And all in all, it was pretty much, even though the performance was alright in West Ham's eyes and a few other people's pundits' eyes from when West Ham have played City before, it was a bit of a drumming, and that goes down as poor performance of the week for me. Moving on, Bournemouth, Sheffield United. Well, another game that's probably going to be remembered simply for an old-timer in Billy Sharp and an 88th minute equaliser. I mean, it was written on it, when you score goals, no matter what division you're in, and he's there again, pops up in the Premier League first game, and the scenes for the fans and everything, we've all seen him with the guy and the steward, and it's just jubilation. The only promoted team to actually grab a point or get anything out of the first game of the season was Sheffield United, so credit to them. And I've got a couple of guys, there's a few followers, a few subscribers on this channel who follow Sheffield United, and for them that must have been just a moment just to get a point. And with it coming in the last couple of minutes, we all know the last minute equalisers, the last minute winners, they're all just absolute bonuses and just make you finish the game and come out of the stadium even more jubilant mood. And Sheffield United fans must be happy with that. I mean, Bournemouth, yeah, they're not the best and not the hardest they're going to come up against. They do play openly, and I think that may have played into Sheffield United's hands a bit to keep it close, but it's still first weekend back in since, God, I can't even remember Sheffield United's last. I mean, United were playing Rooney and Ronaldo up front when Sheffield United were in the league last, I think. So what was it, 2007ish, I think it was, when they were in last. Credit to Sheffield United, that was a good result for them. Good start, like I said, the only promoted team to actually grab anything from the first weekend, so definitely a good result for Sheffield United, and off and running in the new Premier League season. Burnley 3, Southampton 0. This was close to being the shock of the week to me. I've never seen Burnley grab free, like Brighton. Don't often see Burnley getting 3 goals and not having a game as comfortable as it was. I mean, a lot of people have said, I've watched the game, and a lot of people have said it was more to the point of Southampton being absolutely dreadful rather than Burnley being spectacular. But 3-0 win, you still have to give credit to the team that's actually won the game, and Burnley took the chances. It was actually, the goals were actually good. They were from what people have said. I watched the game, obviously. They were really happy with how Burnley attacks. The Burnley fans were well chuffed with the way they went forward and took their chances. Clinical is the word that was used more, and obviously Barnes, again, key to everything that is Burnley and keeping them up through the seasons. He always seems to come up when it counts, and obviously right now he's giving them the perfect start and hit the ground running. So credit to Burnley, credit to Dyche again. He knows his stuff. He does. Southampton, bit of work to do. I expected a bit more of a start from them under Hasenhüttl. I thought he's got his full season. He's had a full pre-season. Obviously he came in the middle of last season. after Sparky got fired, and they had a bit of a roll going there, a bit of initial sort of boost, and I expected them to probably make a little bit better of a start than they did. But 3-0 away from Burnley, it's pretty bad, to be honest, isn't it? I mean, Burnley don't pull up trees. Burnley never really seem to start seasons fast, and to lose 3-0 at Turf Moor, not the best. I mean, any team can lose to any team in the Premier League, we all know that, but I just expected a little bit more from Southampton. I know maybe a little bit out there with that comment, but I did expect a little bit more, especially with Aston, the way they kicked off last season when he first came into, and now having a full pre-season, getting some players in that he wants, and having everything settled and in place, ready to go, and then bang, Burnley 3-0, another big result, another big drumming really, but it can happen, we've said it before, and it's going to happen plenty more times in the season. Shock results are going to come. It was close, like I said, to being my shock of the week, but Brighton took that one. Close second was Southampton, and that was it basically for them. Move on to next week, and hopefully better result at home. They got United coming up soon as well, so hopefully they don't kick into too much form. Right, probably the dullest game of the weekend was probably Everton against Crystal Palace. I expected Everton, with the signings that they'd made and the summer that they'd had, to actually win this game. I had them down. I knew Zaha wasn't playing at the start, and without Zaha, we all know Crystal Palace are pretty shocking. The stats don't lie. Obviously, we've taken Aaron Wan-Bissaka to United, so they're not as strong as he was last season. I know they've brought in McCarthy and a couple of other players, but when you've got Benteke starting the game for you, then where are your hopes? I'll be honest, Benteke is a finished player in the Premier League. He's not Premier League standard anymore. I think Palace fans would agree. You might not agree, let me know, but I don't rate Benteke. I think his work rate isn't the best, and from what I've seen of him, he doesn't bring anything to the game and has lost his way completely. What was it? Red card of the weekend as well. Don't think there was many, if any. I think Schneiderlin's was the only one. Morgan Schneiderlin, God, I remember him. What a waste of time that guy is. How Everton fans are coping with him, and with the amount of money that Everton have spent, and Schneiderlin is still in that midfield. It's a little bit of a worry. I don't know the full ins and outs of injuries and stuff with Everton, so that could always be the case. But poorest game of the weekend was Everton against Palace. There wasn't much to go off, and I did fancy Everton, I'll be honest. I thought Everton, with the summer they've had, would have taken Palace. Didn't turn out to be that way, and 0-0, drab game of the weekend. Yeah, next one was the afternoon kickoff on Saturday, which seen and looked like it was going to be the shock of the weekend, and that would have been right up there, only for a substitution which changed the game. That was Tottenham 3, Aston Villa 1. Obviously McGinn took his goal well in the first half. They were creating, Aston Villa, they were a better team in the first half. Tottenham did shake things up. I think the introduction of Eriksen was key. Without Eriksen and them killer passes and that guile and just a bit of creativity, I mean, it goes a long way. I know, being a United fan, and the lack of creativity in our midfield, exactly what it's like to have that sort of quality of player to come on and can change a game. And Tottenham without Eriksen are a different ball game. Someone asked me if they were worried about Tottenham in the summer, would they be the team to push on? I said if they lose Eriksen, then forget it now, because they haven't really strengthened. They got rid of Dembele and obviously brought in Ndombele, and Ndombele is a class player, I'm not going to lie. He is a quality player, but for me he was just replacing. Whereas in terms of adding to the squad, I don't think they did. I don't think they got any stronger, and they would have got weaker if Eriksen went. Obviously Ndombele's come in, Eriksen's still there now, and they've brought Sessegnon down the left hand side as well, so they are looking okay. Again though, you do think if Harry Kane goes, or a couple of injuries with Spurs, it's always the case, they never seem to get spells when there's a few players out injured though, and that's always a thing with Spurs. They always manage to have, I mean, Son comes in and starts performing when Kane's not there. Obviously Harry Kane again, 2 more goals. The voodoo of August has gone for Harry Kane now. I think he broke that last season anyway, but scoring goals from the get-go now as well, and he is key to everything that Spurs are in terms of going forward. If Harry Kane stays fit, Spurs will be up there. A definite third for me, the way it is at the moment in terms of how everyone's recruited in the summer. But unlucky Villa in this game because they did play well. I think McGinn has standout performance. Again, he does look like he's settled into the Premier League. Even if Villa did go down, I can't see McGinn going back down to the Championship. He's a good player, and obviously he was touted by Ferguson. Ferguson came out, a few other people said he'd be a good fit at United. Would I take him at United? I think this season would be key to that, seeing how he actually handles the Premier League. So far so good, took his goal really well. Standout players in the game, I wouldn't say through a good side of it. I thought Grealish looked lively, but the Premier League pace, and you could see the difference from the Championship to the Premier League. He got caught on the ball quite a bit in possession from what I've seen, and obviously he's just going to take a bit of adapting again. But I do think Villa will be okay this season. I do think they've spent a lot, as we all know, and players like Grealish, McGinn, and it does look like a good setup there, to be honest. It looks like they've got everything the way it should be for a club Villa size. I've always loved going down to Villa, and they belong in the Premier League, and hopefully they can stay in the Premier League as well, because clubs that size need to be in the Premier League. We need Villa Park in the Premier League, and hopefully they won't be too disheartened with the result, because they played well. They did have good long spells in that game with a better team up until 60 odd minutes when Tottenham finally did get the equaliser. It could have been Villa's game, and it would have been a shock if they came away, and it would have been unrewarded. It would have been not the right result if Aston Villa came away with a win or a draw in that game. I think all Spurs fans would say the same, but Spurs quality shone through in the end, and that was it. Game over. 3-1 Spurs. Normal service resumed at the new White Hart Lane Stadium, and it was harsh on Villa. I'll say that, harsh on Villa. Right, moving into the latter part of the week. Well, I'll go to the game on Friday first, obviously. Liverpool 4, Norwich 1. A perfect game for Liverpool to come back to be honest. If you'd have picked a game that you wanted to start the season off with, it would have been at home to one of the newly promoted teams. I think any Premier League team would take that. Friday night, under the floodlights, and yeah, Norwich actually didn't play some bad football. The first 20 minutes, I'm looking at it going, wow, is this scoreline what it is? Because Norwich were creating chances, and I don't think it was a forward. I think Liverpool were overly clinical, to be honest, and you've got to give them credit for being clinical, because chance came, goal went in. Chance came, goal went in. Every single time it came about or got near that Norwich box, the ball just seemed to be sucked into the goal, and they deserved the win in the end. They created and took their chances, where Norwich, who did create a few chances, maybe it was just a bit of excitement being back in the Premier League, but they didn't take the chances when they needed to, and then in the end they got punished. And it is what it is. That's the Premier League standard to the Championship. They might have got away with it in the Championship, but Premier League, especially against Liverpool, European champions, they got punished, and it was the right result in the end. That was it. Nothing more to really say about that game. I mean, Norwich were, like I said, decent and probably didn't deserve 4-1, but Premier League, you have to take chances. I think Norwich will, and the style they play, especially passing out from the back, it suits Premier League. There'll be games when they can beat teams. I do think they've got a little bit of quality about them. I think they will do okay. I think they'll just have enough looking off that game. I know things can change, but first week, it didn't look too bad. The result doesn't look great, I know, but there are promising signs, little bits they will take from that game and actually give them confidence going forward, I think. Into Sunday's games, I'll start with my team, Man United. Everyone who watches this channel knows I've been over this game, I've previewed it, live stream before the game, I vlogged it, and I reviewed it the other day with Paul, as you all seen, and yeah, really happy with the result. I thought Chelsea were the better team for most of it. I've said this before, I'm not going to lie. They were a better team, they were a better passing team, they were better in midfield. Had Abraham's shot gone in, it might have been different. They hit the bar, they hit the post, but to be honest. United, I'd never seen them as clinical as they was. I think we only had 5 shots on target and we scored 4 of them. We had a goal disallowed. So I'd say United were overly clinical, very, very clinical, and I think we will need to be going forward this season, because I don't think we're going to create much. We're not going to be like Spurs, City and Liverpool having 20-30 shots a game. I do think chances are going to be rare, and I do think that we are going to have to take our chances when they come. Can we keep that up for the rest of the season? Realistically, obviously with my red tinted glasses on, I think we are capable of doing it. It all depends if Ollie stays strong and picks the strongest team out of the players that we have got, because all United fans will tell anyone is that the summer wasn't good enough. We're lacking in midfield. I think it's going to be our downfall this season, and we'll catch up with us eventually. But we have got a chance of getting that top 4. I think it will be 4th now with the squad that we've got. The players brought in at the back completely changed us. Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka have totally changed our defensive line and strengthened us dramatically in defence. And I think that will be what will scrape us through into the top 4 this season, because we were the worst, I think, in the top 8, the worst for goals conceded last season. That's not going to happen this season, not with the defence that we've got now, barring injuries, obviously. But what can I say? I've got to be over the moon with that result. 4-0, did not see it coming, but we'll definitely take it. That is a result I don't think anyone in the Premier League seen coming. I know they were under strength, Chelsea, and they will be going away gutted, but they've got a few players to come back. They're not at full strength yet, and will Lampard be able to turn it around? He's going with youth. He said he's not going to change in his tactics and his team selections. He's sticking with the players he thinks deserve to be in the team. If that's a youth player, then it's a youth player, he said. How will that pan out through the rest of the season? Don't know. We're about to find out though, aren't we? Now they've got Liverpool tonight as well, so yeah, I think that will be another. I don't see him having any chance against Liverpool, I'll be honest, in the Super Cup. But stranger things have happened. Transfer embargo has destroyed Chelsea, in my opinion. Losing Hazard, I don't think they'll get anywhere near the top 4. That's my personal opinion. You guys may differ. Let me know. Comment below. Then on to the last game of... No, not the last game, sorry. You could say this one was up there with the boring games of the week, and that was at Leicester. Leicester Wolves. This game reported more on it and more controversial rather than actual football on the pitch and excitement in terms of the way it was and chances created. It was overshadowed by the obvious VAR decision. I didn't want to go into VAR too much. We've listened to it driving to work on the radio every bleeding day. It's the only topic that's been on. It's doing my head in, it's boring. Just get on with it. VAR's here to stay, deal with it. Although I will say in Wolves, on the side of Wolves, that it was stated at the start of the season by the referees that they wouldn't be as harsh on the handball. The handball situation in VAR, the best example I can give in terms of how it is in Europe was United's game against PSG when we got the penalty in the last minute. That side of it, them handballs about the players making themselves bigger, apparently it was stated at the start of the season that that wouldn't be looked at too much or gone in too much depth by the Premier League referees this season. But first game of the season, Bowley goes up, he's not even looking at the ball just drops down off his arm. Total legitimate goal for me. It should have stood, and they get it disallowed through VAR. A minute and a half in deliberating to try and figure out if it was a goal or not. But what's there to deliberate? It's not deliberate handball. You could probably say the one that United scored against PSG, that wasn't a handball either, even though it hit his hands. But the rules are there to stay now. Unfortunately, they're going to have moments like this, and there's going to be some controversial ones. The offsides are one thing, red cards another, but the handball one, that is going to cause some issues if that does keep coming up through the season. Other than that, it was pretty much Leicester dominant in that game, possession stat-wise. Wolves had a couple of chances but were very wasteful, and hopefully that carries on to Monday when they play United. Please, because we are due a result at Molineux. But yeah, I think all in all, they're the two teams below the top 6 who are looking to get into, or be the ones to break into the top 6. I do think Leicester have spent well. They've lost Maguire, that's going to hamper them a little bit. But I do think it will be one of Leicester or Wolves. If one of the top 6 did drop, that it'd be one of them 2 teams to come in. I've said it before, I thought Wolves were going to be the one this season, if anyone. And we'll see when they play us. If they're having second season syndrome, I think they have got Europa League this week as well for the first time now. So we all know how Europa League affects teams for the first time. We've seen it with Everton, we've seen it with West Ham, we've seen it with Burnley. These teams that do break into the top 7 and get into Europe, their first season in the Premier League with Europa League games there does hamper them, and it's how they kind of get through this initial start to the season with the Europa League games mixed in as well in the middle of the week. And if they get through that okay, then they could be on for a good one, but that is the only thing I can see hampering Wolves this season, because they do look solid, barring injuries obviously. They do look like they've got a solid outfit again. Last game to covering the whole weekend was Arsenal at Newcastle. The whole exodus of Newcastle fans after the summer they've had with the exit of Benitez, obviously the protest against Mike Ashley. There were a few empty seats there. There was still a decent crowd there, and how did the game go? It wasn't the best game from what I've seen. I think Arsenal probably had the better chances. Newcastle did have a few. They did, but I think the best chances came to Arsenal. And all in all, I think anyone will be hard pushed to say that Arsenal didn't deserve the win. And it's what they got in the end. 1-0, Aubameyang again starts off scoring, started off where he left off, apart from Baku. But yeah, what can you say? It was that I expected Arsenal to win with everything going on with Newcastle. Steve Bruce's first game, it wasn't an easy one to come into. I think Arsenal got a good record there, to be honest, but it was one of them, wasn't it? I mean, it would have been great if Newcastle got the win, just to cheer up the Toon Army and get them buzzing for the season, because I got Newcastle down as one of my relegation teams. I just don't think Steve Bruce is the man. Whether or not he's going to be there halfway through the season, I don't know. Things could change if a new manager comes in, he may get a boost. But with Steve Bruce there, I'm sorry to say it, Geordies, I just don't see progressing at all. I don't think the squad is big enough. I don't think the quality and depth is there at all. A couple of injuries to that team, and I think he's struggling. You did play okay. I really do think Newcastle played well. They held their own, and it could have gone either way. They could have easily got a draw out of that game, but for me, Arsenal deserved the win. They got the win, and that was it. Whether there's easier games to come for Newcastle, I don't know. It's going to be a tough season, it really is. I fear for Newcastle. Maybe in January they'll spend some money. Oh God, that's wishful thinking, isn't it, with Ashley? I mean, that's like the Glazers actually spending money trying to regenerate Old Trafford. But yeah, all in all, let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my roundup of the first match week in the Premier League? I do think there were a couple of surprises in there. A couple of how he was last year results in all the big guns. There was only Chelsea, because we beat them in the top 6 from last season, who didn't win on the opening day. So was there any real surprises? Do you agree with my flop and my performance of the week? Should have been another team. Is there anything else that you want to bring up? Comment below, let me know what you guys think of this new segment. If there is any other fan who wants to come on and join me on a video call for these videos going forward, just hit me up. Details are below. You can always get me on Twitter. My DMs are always open, as always. People can get hold of me on Instagram as well. Details below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you are watching for the first time. It's a long season ahead. This is week 1 roundup. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you for the Wolves preview at weekend, for everyone else who normally watches on the channel for my United content. Obviously, that is the main part of my channel, but I just wanted to add this segment to my channel this season, especially hoping that I can bring some more of the opposition fans on to the shows and obviously get them commenting. There is a lot of them already who are actually on the show and do get involved in the live comments when we do live streams, but it would be great to get more on and just get a verdict from the other side, because that was probably one of the most intriguing parts of me starting the channel last season. The actual way that other teams and other fans are looking at our club and how we look at their club, and then putting that all together makes great content. So if you wanted to come on, just hit me up, get it on, I'll get it organised, and we'll get down to it and get some more good content coming up on the channel, definitely with opposition fans coming on as well. It will make for good watching and good viewing. I'll catch you guys at weekend or probably just before. Big weekend.